Good morning and welcome to a beautiful Tuesday here as we get towards the end of the month of April. There's only a week left. And today we're going to talk about gratitude. And actually that intro it's got a lot of gratitude in it. When I look at it, when I was putting it together, it's from my time with CJ a couple weeks ago. In San Diego for an AI show. And it was a wonderful weekend, a lot of learning. The show was great to see what's going on with AI, especially in education. So, gratitude is something that there's really a lot of, and I think a lot of us don't do enough of in this world. Uh, but to start off with, and kind of part of that is check in on those around you. There's people in your life, all of our lives, who have gone through something, and oftentimes we know they're going through it at the beginning. We're there when they're going through it, when there to support them, lift them up however we can, and then over time, because it could be a medical issue, it could be a family issue, it could be job related. I mean, there's so many different things that we can go through that happen. So, but when we go through it, it can be difficult to really get over it quickly. These things take time. So when you know somebody who's gone through one of these traumas, one of these aspects of life, and suddenly you notice that they are smiling again and everything looks good, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are doing good. We are a race that's very good at hiding our feelings. And I think society kind of puts a lot of that on us, where we have to wear a mask. We have to hide how we're doing, how we're feeling. We have to look a certain way. And so when you do that, when you put that mask on, it makes it look like you're doing better. And so when you know somebody who they went through a medical emergency and now they look fine, it's still a case of check in on them, see how they're doing. And if they tell you, "Oh, I'm doing fine," ask more details, go deeper. Fine is, um, as Agape put it, feelings inward, not expressed. And it's just become a catchword, really. You go through the checkout, the cashier's like, "So how you doing today?" It's fine. Okay, you're done. Check the box, off to the next thing. That's not the way we need to interact with each other. So check on those around you. When it comes to my sponsors, I always begin with my dear sis, Dr. Constance Leland, with Level Up Academy. Um, I can go on and on about her. She's an educator. She's there to level you up. She knows publicity, marketing. She's all over the place. So when it comes to education, her goal is to be the Netflix of education, to lift everybody up, to level you up to the next level, to where you need to be, where you're going, and to be there to support you in that journey. So check her out. And I talked about marketing and press releases. This is something that she has access to. She has her own press release room. She has access to premium journals and be able to put press releases in these journals. Premium, that means there's a cost to it. And some of those, they're like hefty costs, but she can get discounts on them. So check with her on that. Scan her QR code here. She's got access to all these industries. You need to put something out. You've got a book coming out. You have a new product. You're putting out a new service. You're getting ready to announce something. Touch base with her. She knows the system. She knows what needs to be done for publicity, for marketing. And when you talk with her, she's going to make sure that you are ready for it. She's not just going to let you do publicity and that's it. She wants to make sure that when you get your name out there, if she works with you and you are out there, that you are ready for it, that you've provided the information that you need. So check her out. She has a podcast. She's got 2 TV shows, radio, live stream. Her live streams are on Wednesdays at this same time, 9 Pacific, noon Eastern. Her Thursday TV show is at this same time, 9 Pacific, noon Thursday. And then on Sunday nights, she has a TV show at 7 p.m. Pacific, which is 10 p.m. Eastern. And you can always catch the replays on her YouTube channel. And we have the Hounds of Business. When I talk about the Hounds, I also love to talk about collaboration over competition. CJ talks all the time. It's working with others to do more, to move your own self to the next level. Sometimes means working with somebody who may be in the same field as you, because you get to learn from each other. If you just see people as competition, you're going to spend all your time focused on how to get a leg up on them, how to whatever. And it just creates anxiety. It creates pressure. And then that's all you're doing is trying to compete. When if you work with somebody, you collaborate with them, now you're sharing the load. It's not just you alone doing everything. You're sharing the load. You're working together. You're learning from each other, and you're opening up each other to new markets, because your markets, everybody who knows you doesn't mean that they're all the ones that are going to work with you, that they're the right ones for you. Everybody that's working with somebody else, that they know them, same thing. There's 8 billion people in this world. Collaborate, find ways to work together, open up new fields. And when you collaborate, you also create new ideas, new opportunities, growth. So when you find somebody that you can work with, that you can collaborate with, it really becomes a beautiful thing. And then my dear sis Danielle with C&M Consulting. C&M is a leading management and advisory consulting firm that specializes in human resources and HR. HR is everywhere. They center around an empathy-driven and heart-led solutions, which my dear sister knows that is who she is. She has got so much empathy and leads with her heart. They ensure compliance with regulatory requirements while fostering a culture of trust and workplace excellence. It's all stuff that, when you think about what you need to do for HR, what you need to do for the people in your organization, and you're not sure what the steps are, you maybe get confused or lost, maybe things just don't look right, you need somebody who knows how to walk you through it, and that's what she does. So I want to see who's here before I go into some of the next stuff. And oh yes, Lisa's here. It's so great to see you, Lisa. I adore Lisa. Lisa talks, as it says right there, the menopause dietitian and coach. Ladies, if you have menopause questions about it, you're perimenopause, whatever stage, whatever question, Lisa's the one to talk to. Touch base with her. And guys, you may think it's just the women, but you get andropause. So you get something similar, and she is familiar with that. So you can touch base with her if you have questions. Knowledgeable. I adore her, and she knows how to convey the information in amazing ways that everybody knows. Leo's here. It's great to see you, Leo. And Al, yes, definitely more ideas. Two minds are better than one. That's really what it comes down to. I love it. So as I go into this, I want to talk about an upcoming event, and this actually crosses 2 days. So this conference, the Human First Conference, we've got 6 authors that are presenting papers on a variety of topics, but they're all human-centered, human first. I'm one of them. Mine, I'm focusing on belonging and productivity in the workplace. CJ is focusing on women and mentorship. We have Danielle is working on, it really is in that HR field and finding ways to keep, to be able to make sure that when you have a medical issue, that there's ways for that information to be conveyed simply. And we have another that's focused on ADHD. So all of these different topics, and they actually, depending on the order you put them in, they create an amazing story as well. So CJ's leading this. Thursday on her TV show, we're going to talk about some of the solutions we've come up with to the problems that we've talked about 2 weeks ago. So if you go back, again, go to CJ's YouTube, go back a couple of weeks, and you'll be able to see what everybody is talking about. Then show up Thursday and you'll get to hear some of the solutions that they've come up with for these problems. And then next Monday and Tuesday, and that's really what this is for, this image. Next Monday and Tuesday is the conference. It will be from 7 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. And then I believe it goes from 10 a.m. Pacific time to 1 p.m. and Eastern time is 1 to 4 p.m. And there will be 3 presenters each day. There's possibility of getting certificates of attendance if you attend this. You have to scan the QR code. It's totally free. That's how you get the access to it. That's how you get in. Check it out. And then please stop by next week. Come and join us as we present these papers. We present these academic, scholarly works of what the papers are. The presentation will be covering what these papers talk about. So join us and be ready to really learn a lot. Because don't think academic, oh, that's just for educators and stuff. No. These are real world problems with real world solutions. That means it's for everybody. Don't look at it. Don't dismiss it. Dive into it. Listen to what's going on, because each of these problems that are coming up with solutions, we have people around us in this world who this information will benefit. So think about who else in your circles would benefit from this. And then Grateful. This is our anthology that is open right now. It's your chance to amplify your voice, to share a story, and get featured alongside other amazing authors. We have done anthologies. This is our 6th anthology since last year. Each one has had its own amazing story. Here, Grateful a heart wide open. It's what does it mean to be grateful? And even more specific, those times in life where gratitude ended up being a part of you pivoting in life. It made an impact, and it changed your course for the better. Scan the QR code for information to be able to join us. Yes, there is a cost to it. I mean, not everything is free in this world. We work very hard to keep that down at $500. However, if you're a member of the Hounds of Business, you get a discount, and if you're a repeat author, you get a bigger discount. And if you come in with 4 other authors, then you get yours free. So we're always trying to find ways to level everybody up and yet be able to live within our means as much as possible. And so that's what this one is. And as I go through today, I'll talk more about gratitude. But like I said, we've done 6, and this is our 6th anthology. Here's the other 5. And each one of them, we're blessed to say that it was an number 1 international bestseller. We won't make the claim that we will be that, because you never know what's going to happen in life. However, we've been blessed with it. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to work with our authors and be able to guide them, listen to them, and help them put out the best story possible. And I've already mentioned, when I mentioned Lisa and I mentioned Al, they're both previous authors. They've written with us. And Leo's going to be writing in the next one. So you can always go back to people that we know who have written with us, ask how it went, talk to Lisa, talk to Al, talk to Erica. It's lovely to see you, Erica, because Erica was in the last book. So check it out. Check them all out. All of these books that you see from last year through all the books last year, we were giving back to community. It's important to us to do that. That's part of what it means to level up. So as we go into today, and all of this is part of it. It's gratitude. It's grateful. It's how are you doing? What, where in your life are you grateful? Because I know there's studies out there that even show how gratitude improves how we're doing, how we're feeling. To wake up every day with a sense of gratitude is, it really starts the day off right when you think about it. We are a bundle of energy, and we need positive energy to move forward. Gratitude is one of those things, and another one is forgiveness. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, because the two of them have connections. But when it comes to gratitude, like this anthology that I'm doing with CJ, where we're going to bring people in. And thank you so much, Erica. It was great working with you. And your story, you had an amazing story. Yeah, there you go. Start your team meetings with gratitude. And it is, what are you grateful for? Because it gets you thinking positively instead of negatively. When CJ and I, as we were talking about what's the focus of this book, all our books had a focus. Even the last one, I mean, CJ will say it didn't, because the theme was no theme, but that really was the focus, was what's on your heart. What do you want to write about? Now, coming into this one, it's, I was thinking about my gratitude towards CJ because I had just had an interview. A door was open that the only way it could be open is because of her. And so I was grateful, and that's what I was thinking of is how grateful I was that she opened that door. And so we started talking when we were down in San Diego about what this book was going to be. And I told her that. And then she stopped me and she's like, no, the opportunity opened up because she was grateful for me and things that I had done with her and how I'd supported her. And we ended up going around and around on this. It's like the chicken and the egg. Is gratitude, where does it start? How does it go forward? And so in this case, I could say the gratitude is the opportunity that was given to me, yet she's saying the opportunity was there because she was grateful to me. And we could just keep going back and forth. It's like, but I'm grateful for you for this. Well, yeah, but I'm also grateful for this. And you start going back and forth. It really is the chicken and the egg. And so that's how we came up with grateful, a heart wide open, and looking at those points where when you're talking and you're grateful, look at those points of great gratitude, of gratefulness in your life. And are these points that actually turned into a pivot in your life? Because I could kind of see that with what I was doing with CJ, as that opportunity that she opened up for me. If that happens, then that's a pivot point, gratitude and a pivot point. Whereas then CJ's coming back is, yeah, but it came from something else because it came from you. And so think about in your life moments where gratitude, being grateful, actually changed your course. Yeah, I'm so glad that you got into the book. It was so great. And yes, speaking with CJ students is because she has so many students and she's got that business focus. So that's just, it's great. Thank you. Thank you, Al. It was great having you in the book and working with you as well. Because the stories are gratitude. And actually, when I look at all of the anthologies that we've done, there is a piece of gratitude through all of them. You can talk about beyond boundaries, thriving in life's gray zone. Sometimes it's looking back and seeing where you were able to take that step to move beyond the boxes, how you were able to survive and thrive in life's gray zone, and realize the gratitude of being able to do that, of being able to step out of what would be considered the norm. Move beyond boxes and shine, the journey to self-discovery. Again, it's finding that journey, moving beyond where others are telling you you're supposed to be. But then looking back at that journey, it's the gratitude of how that first step took place, being able to take that step, the gratitude of seeing that you don't have to be what others are telling you you're supposed to be. You have to be yourself, and being grateful to yourself to take those steps forward and not stay in a box. Rebel with a cause. It's that rebellious, you're going against what others are saying and doing. You know who you are. You rebel, and when you don't rebel, you're just going along. You're just there. That's how it's always felt for me, is you're just there. And life isn't quite right. Yet when you step in and you become that rebel, you go, no, I'm not doing this. And watch how your life changes. Watch how you go to the next level. There's gratitude in that, because the gratitude is you took a stance, you took a chance, you took a movement forward, and it turned into something often more than you expected. So there's gratefulness, there's gratitude in being that rebel, standing up for, oftentimes, for yourself in the first place. Then we have against the grain, thriving against the grain, finding belonging in a world of resistance. And that's it. Finding belonging in the world of resistance. The last one last year. Finding belonging, being against the grain. What does it mean to go against the grain? To find the spaces you belong, that you fit in. That is gratitude right there. To no longer fit in, but to be yourself, to take the step, whether that step is encouraged by you or somebody else. And if it's encouraged by somebody else, well, that may be another case like with CJ, where they look at you and say, yeah, I gave you the opportunity, I pushed you, but it's because you did this for me. And we're back to that chicken and the egg question. Gratitude can just keep spiraling all over the place and encompass so many people in so many ways. Then the last book that we did, Scattered Pages, the Chronicles of Scattered Pages, stories from everywhere. Stories of gratitude. There was actually gratitude within almost every story that was there. To be grateful of what happened. Yes, you go through a tough time, a traumatic time, a difficult time, an unexpected time. Yet by the end of that chapter, by where you're at now, there's gratitude for what you've gone through, because everything we go through is part of what makes us who we are. Yeah. I love, this is the other beautiful thing about anthologies, is when you get people who would have never met, and suddenly they connect and are doing things together. I love this. It's more of a collaboration. And I love to see this. I love how this works out. So when we're looking at gratitude, when we're looking at our stories, one of the things that I do for gratitude is be thankful for everything I went through. When I talk about the butterfly effect, you'll see, you can see right there on my picture, I have on my name, I've got that emoji signature that I like to call it, the butterfly, the eagle, and the butterfly. And it's that second butterfly, that last one, that for me, that is the butterfly effect. To go, and it was coined by Ray Bradbury in the short time travel story, A Sound of Thunder. To go back in time and change anything, no matter how small, is to make the present different. If I were to go back and change anything that I've gone through in this life, then I would no longer be me. I would be going on a different trajectory. Even if it's just to bend over and pick up a penny, it's a change in your life. It's a change to what had happened, where things were at, what was going on. So I look at the past and I look at the difficult times, the hard times. And remember too, the past is from now, because when I said now, that's not the past, all the way back. It's everything. So it's yesterday, it's last week, it's January, it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving, it's last year, it's high school, childhood, being a toddler, all of that. It's all part of the past. To change anything within that stream is to change who you are right now. And just because you make a change you think is for the better does not mean that it played out that way. Because once you make that change, it's going to play out differently the rest of the way. It will not be exactly the same as what it was, what it is right now. So think about, why would you want to change something in the past when all of that happened to you is what made you who you are now? And if you can look in the mirror right now and be happy with who you see, be able to smile, be glad at who's looking back at you, why would you risk changing that? I wouldn't. I've gone through so much to get where I'm at right now, and I'm still going through some traumatic issues. Yet, I'm not willing to change it because it makes me stronger, and I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for the people around me. I'm grateful for being able to talk with everybody here. When I look at the people in my life, and especially these last couple of years, so much has happened. I've received support like never before in my life. Because I have somebody, I have that inner circle, that space of belonging. And when you have a space of belonging, that is also gratitude. So when I look at my dear sis CJ and everything that we've done over the past year and how she has always been there for me from the time that we met just over 2 years ago through now, we've gone through ups and downs. We've gone through different traumas for each of us, yet we're always there to support each other. It's why we collaborate and work together on so many different projects, because it's just a blast working with my bestie, and the ideas, just when you're with the right people and you're collaborating. When I'm with my sis, ideas start to pop, whether it's ideas that she has and bounces off of me, or I get ideas and I can bounce them off of her. And then Danielle is right in there too, that being able to open up and grateful. It's a gratitude of belonging, a gratitude of being in a space where I can be myself. I can open up freely and not fear judgment or ridicule or anything negative that is the reason why we wear masks all the time. I mean, think about it. When you walk out the door, you probably are wearing a mask of some type. Maybe you're not feeling good that day. You put the mask on with a smile to let everybody see that, oh, I'm doing fine. Don't worry. Maybe you just don't want to be bothered by something. You put that mask on, but because you're afraid of questions, you don't want to deal with questions. You don't want to deal with people who are like digging in. It's like, why is this? Why is this? Why is this? And you just don't have the temperament to go through a whole bunch of why questions. And you just don't feel safe opening up, because once you say something, you can't take it back. It's like water. It's like water going over a waterfall. The minute the words come out, you can't go backwards. So being in a safe space means you can make mistakes. You can cry when you have to, and you don't have to feel silly about it. You can listen to the others. You're sharing each other's stories. It's a space of belonging that the feeling and the caring that happens in those spaces allows us to be our authentic selves, to open up and hopefully be able to continue opening up, because the more that we are our authentic selves, that we're not wearing a mask, the more we're doing what we're supposed to do in this world. We were created for a reason. Faith is my foundation. So when I talk about belonging, when I talk about gratitude, when I talk about being able to be your authentic self, to be my authentic self, I know how I was created. I know I have ideas on the whys of why some things happened. It's all what made me me. And we're not here to hide. We're here to shine. It's just like there's a verse, a city on a hill can't be hidden from the light. You don't want to hide the light. But that's what we do when we cover. And that's what we do when we're hiding. And so I'm grateful when I'm able to take the mask off. I'm grateful when I'm able to be in a space that is safe to be authentic, to be who I was created to be. Then another aspect of gratitude is forgiveness. And I link them together because when you're unable to forgive somebody, that's like having a chain dragging you under the waves. It's very hard to be present. It's very hard to be your authentic self, to be free of the masks, to be free of whatever's trying to hold you back, because you can't forgive. Now, forgiveness, and I've forgiven a lot of people in my life. When I look back, things that have happened, it doesn't mean that I forget. But once I forgive, just like gratitude, it's uplifting. It's letting go of something that's trying to drag you down. So when you cut that chain that's trying to pull you under the waves because you are refusing to forgive somebody for something, then it's very, once you cut that chain, then things open up and it becomes, you become freer, you can become lighter. Forgiveness is such an important aspect of life. And again, it doesn't mean that when you forgive that you have to forget. So with that, I see somebody popped in the background, and if the camera goes on, I'm going to pull them up. Until then, think about forgiveness. Oh, they disappeared. Think about how forgiveness can be uplifting and how it can actually be something that you're grateful for. It can be something that will open doors for you. Darcy B. Morning, sis. You need to unmute. And she hit again. I think she's having internet problems. So forgiveness is a really tough, it can be really tough, right, sis?
Yes. Gratefulness and forgiveness. That's a heavy topic you got, sister.
Oh, what do you want to say on it? I'm going to let you go. I've been talking for 40 minutes straight.
Good morning, everyone. Or wherever you are, I guess, good evening, greetings. You know, that's a really hard thing, I think. And it's something to be mindful for, though, you know, as, you know, if you don't know me, you know, my husband had 2 strokes in 2024, and, you know, just life, like having 3 children, working full time, you know, like the system just kind of moving and flowing. And I think it's important to have a grateful heart. But it is difficult when you don't necessarily get the support you need, or there are hangups in the system. You know, very much a proponent of, you know, like disability insurance for my husband, like with the strokes. You know, we thought we were doing the right thing by, you know, trying to retire him. But, you know, when it gets denied, it's like, oh, you go through this same process. And then you try to get him working because we need the money and to support our family. So it's hard not to be kind of in this ungrateful place, right? When everything seems to not be working out around you. But it is much easier to have a heart of, I don't think that anybody intends to hurt anybody. At least that's what I try to tell myself. And even, you know, you hear creators and people talk about like family and having that trauma. And, you know, as you grow and then, you know, as you go in life, not necessarily being a parent or a caretaker, you know, you're like, oh man, I don't think anybody intends it. So it's easier to be in forgiveness and be grateful for whatever place or space that you're in and whoever's there with you, good and bad. Because, you know, if you believe in a higher power, and then, you know, you have to have faith that that was meant, right? And so that's kind of, it is a hard, yeah, it's a hard thing to embrace. And it's not absent boundaries, but much easier to sleep at night, because when you're in this place of, I guess, ungratefulness, is that even a word? And, you know, it kind of chains you. in my opinion, in a way that limits kind of your growth and moving forward, at least in my, like, so much easier to just say, I forgive whatever somebody did to me, right?
Mhm.
And say, I don't think they intend it. Now, patterns of behavior, that's different, everyone. Um, you know, but just to move forward and move on. Um, and to not let it have power over you. It is a powerful thing. That was long-winded.
But it's true. You don't there is if you can't forgive and you can't be grateful, then there is something that's holding on to you, that's dragging you. And,
Mhm,
and I like the vision of basically like an anchor
mhm.
is it's like throwing the anchor over in the middle of the sea, knowing that it's just going to keep going down and down, and at some point it's going to drag you down with it.
Yeah, and if you think of, life and life experiences like a boat, if you will, right? You get on the boat because you're trying to get somewhere. Um, and if you put that anchor out, which it happens, like life's, trials or tribulations, hardships, sometimes we can't help the anchors that go out, that we didn't know about, but pull them, you have the power to pull it back to get to where you were trying to go. But as long as you kind of let those anchors pull you down, how can you get to where you're going? And I think this is especially important when you are celebrating something so special, and another year gratefulness and blessed of life is to move and grow, beyond the things that hold you back, and which can be very difficult to do.
Yeah. And I mean, you can talk about pulling the anchor up. I actually like like thinking of it as just cutting it and letting it go.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, not a
because
bad idea.
there can be something about it. I mean, if you want to talk practicality, yes, you want to pull it up because you want to use it somewhere else. But metaphorically, is like cut it, let it go, because
Mhm.
it goes, and the farther down into the ocean it goes, it's you just let it go, and that distance is actually healing too. Uh,
Yeah.
the biggest thing to me is on forgiveness. It doesn't mean forgetfulness.
Mm. Oof.
Forgiveness is accepting, forgive them. Don't give it space in your thoughts. So when I think about the forgiveness that I keep going through,
Mhm.
even now, it's not letting that not letting these things take space in my thoughts, because all it's going to do is harm me. It's going to sap my energy in
Yeah.
ways that means I can't be more productive in fulfilling what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, not forgetting and not necessarily holding on to it, but having an awareness, of kind of the weight negatively held on you. I kind of try to think of, um, it's a way of like, okay, if somebody really, let's just, worst case scenario, hurt you deeply, right? And like that is something that, that person might have done something that not necessarily is unforgivable. But it is that you have to set the boundary to, let's say, cut them off. And, having an awareness not to forget. Um, People might see that as negative, but to me, I think, by setting that boundary, then I can I can now keep the happy things, and appreciate the good times. But that doesn't mean that I have to then let someone who hurt me deeply back into my heart. And I think that's important to remember. I
Right.
think, and I don't know if you said this yesterday, but there might be some fear surrounding that because you think, oh, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be lonely. No, but to me, I think it's a box. The fear is a box that holds us in. Um, and it's so freeing to let it go. Like, how can the people that were meant to be around you if you don't let them go? You don't let the, I don't like to say dead weight. You don't let the things go that you need to and forgive those to really grow and be around people that truly do have your back and love you. And, you
Right.
know, you got to make room for the good. Maybe that's a good way to say it. Make room for the good. Um, because, and I think that's kind of what we have in our sisterhood. It's hard to find.
It is hard to find, and at all levels, because it's I can sit here and it's like I know situations I'm dealing with, and yes, there were good times, but there were also not good times, and the struggles that basically the struggles that I had to go through, I had to do it by myself.
Mm,
Um, because there were situations where those that I was with, didn't I didn't have that feeling of safety to be able to open up to that degree.
I
And then when I sit back and look at it, it's like I can still love these people that have
Mhm.
hurt me so much. I just have to do it at arm's length.
Right. And I think people think, oh, cutting off is not, but it's a sense of empowerment for self to say, I love you, but I have to love myself too, and if not more. And that saying goes back to we can't, it's difficult to pour from empty cups.
Mhm.
Um, and if you have children or, people that depend on you, you almost owe it to them to love yourself, especially if you mentor you, it doesn't even have to be like a child. They're watching what you're doing, right? And by standing up for yourself and to be in a room that at the very least respects you makes all of the difference because we're sending a message to the next generation that we don't have to be in rooms that we're not wanted. Now, find another room that needs you, right?
Mhm.
And that's going to appreciate what you bring to the table if that's what you're looking for, not only in like friendship but in life. Like, how, you know it's almost as if, almost hitting 40, right? Like coming to a space and a place like, wow, that what was, the friendship of, and feeling like, well, I don't have to hide pieces of myself, to make other people feel comfortable. I can come as I am. And to me, that's a big thing. And what I admire about you, Susanna, is that, that's what, from boxes to butterflies, we're moving, from these boxes that we've let ourselves be held into. Because I think accountability is important, right? Like, I was
Mhm.
a yes person, but I'm choosing now to put myself, so that I can fly from the box that I held myself in. And it's a time of reflection, um, and it's important to do. And you get to decide when you do it. Nobody gets to decide for you when you want to open, when you want to stop and smell the roses,
Right.
or you want to cut them off. Sorry.
Yeah. And it's, and within that box, within the box, it's always, fear is always there.
Mm.
It just depends on depending on the box, if it's the primary holding you back or if it's a secondary and something else is holding you back.
Yeah. I mean,
No matter what, it's holding you back.
right. I think certainly, and for some people, it's fear that I'm going to fail. My fear is actually that I'll succeed, so much so that I lose myself. Um, and to me, being who I am and loving who I love and believing what I believe and being comfortable with that now is non-negotiable.
Mhm.
And so that kind of, keeps you from maybe rooms you would have been in otherwise or before. But I think it's too expensive to lose myself. I'm not willing to do that for an amount of money. Because to me, what is it for then if we lose ourselves?
Yeah. It's it's not worth losing ourselves. And we're coming up to the top of the hour, so I'm going to close this up because I know we got other things that we got to do at the top of the hour. I'm so glad you stopped by. I'm so glad for everybody that stopped by, and thank you for joining me this week, and I will see you next week. Bye.